Chapter 14. There is nothing wrong with fear. You need never be ashamed of it, as long as it doesn't stop you functioning. Fear is your natural warding system. It keeps you alive so that you can fight. Show me a man who isn't afraid, and I'll show you a fool who is a danger to his entire ship. And I do not tolerate fools in my navy. Admiral Adar Talon, addressing the new intake at Republic Academy. Hogan stood on the veranda of Ankit's villa and stared out at a bright autumnal morning. There were still too many leaves on the trees for his liking. They were out there somewhere, Republic forces, a handful, but they were not an army. He walked to Uthan's laboratory complex, a comfortable 15-minute stroll. It occurred to him that he was a good target for a sniper, if a sniper had been able to penetrate Mandalorian armor. Even so, he decided to divert via copies. His path took him along a dry stone wall to the rear of the installation, and he made a complete circle of the farm building before walking up to the single entrance at the front. As a lure, this was a good one. The line of droids across the entrance was spectacular. Hogan made a point of inspecting them at a leisurely pace, and then engaged them in conversation about their cannons. If anyone was observing, soldier, spy, or talkative farmer, they would get the message. Inside, though, Dr. Uthan was losing her glamorous cool.
Is this the last time you're going to move me?
She said, tapping her nails against the polished metal of her desk. Her files and equipment were still in packing crates.
My staff members are finding this extremely stressful, as am I.
Hogan took out his datapad and projected a holo chart of the installation above the surface of the desk. The place was a cube within a cube. Below ground level, the accommodations, storage, and offices lay in a ring around a central core. The core contained a square of 8 small laboratories, with one more secure room nestled in the center. The rest of the complex had bulkheads that could be brought down and sealed to isolate a biohazard escape. It could be defended. But it wouldn't come to that. He laid a careful trail to Ankit's villa, and a greeting from 50 droids, along with cannons and powerful explosives. He wanted to get it over with. Yes, Doctor. This is the last time I'll move you, he said. Try to understand why I've done this, Doctor. I believe I'm facing a small commando force. Rather than chase them, which could be diversionary, I've decided to bring them to me. This means they'll be facing a conventional infantry and artillery battle that I don't think they're equipped to fight. Those are battles of numbers.
I'm not sure if I do see your point, actually.
We can defend this installation. I have the numbers and the firepower. Sooner or later, they'll take casualties.
You're certain about this?
Not certain, but everything I say suggests they have landed a minimal amount of troops. For example, no evidence of large-scale transport. They hijacked explosives from a quarry to destroy the Tech Lake ground station. If they had the material, they wouldn't have bothered. And then again, maybe that's a diversionary tactic too. Hogan looked up from the holo chart. Nobody has perfect knowledge of battle. No plan survives contact with the enemy. Yes, I'm making an educated guess, as every commander in history has had to do. Uthan considered him with cold black eyes.
You should have evacuated my people from the planet.
Hogan folded his arms. When you move, you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable crossing the countryside between here and the spaceport. You're even more vulnerable attempting to leave Quilura with a Republic assault ship on station. And now, we have no communications beyond runners, and a bunch of droids relaying messages. No, we sit tight. Uthan indicated the warren of rooms behind her with one hand.
If this comes to a pitched battle, what about my project? What about my staff? Those 5 scientists represent the best microbiologists and geneticists in the CIS. In many ways, they're more important than the biomaterial we hold. We can start again, even if the work so far is lost.
It's as dangerous for them to leave as it is for you.
I see.
You specified a very secure layout when you had this facility built. You must know it's defensible. Uthan seemed suddenly fixed on the hollow chart in front of her. It showed hydraulic, emergency bulkheads, and chambers within chambers. It showed ventilation systems and triple filters. It could be sealed as tightly as a bottle.
It's not secure enough to stop anything getting in. It's to stop anything getting out.
You said the nanovirus was only lethal for clone troops. There was a pause, the sort of pause Hokin didn't like. He waited. He stared at her, and he was disappointed to see for the first time that she was nervous. He waited for her to continue. He would wait all day if necessary.
It will be,
she said at last. You said that it might make other organisms merely, what was the word, unwell?
Yes.
How unwell then? If you go to all this trouble to contain it.
Very unwell.
Dead unwell?
Possibly, depending on whether the exposed subject has certain sets of genes.
Hokin experienced a rare moment of uncertainty. It wasn't because he was closer to a dangerous virus than he supposed. It was because someone had lied to him, and his instinctive way to deal with that was a violent one. The fact that he was dealing with a woman was the only thing that made him hesitate. But it was only hesitation. He leaned forward, seized her by her elegant designer collar, and heaved her sharply out of her seat across the desk. Never lie to me, he said. They were eye to eye. She was shaking, but she didn't blink.
Get your hands off me.
What else haven't you told me?
Nothing. You didn't need to know the detail of the project.
This is your final chance to tell me if there's anything else I should know. She shook her head.
No, there isn't. We're having some problems isolating the parts of the virus that will attack only clones. They're human. All human races share the majority of genes, even you.
He held her for a few more seconds, and then let go, and she fell back into her chair. He really should have shot her. He knew it. It would have made her staff more compliant. But she was a significant part of the asset. He hadn't gone soft because she was a woman. He was certain of that. Understand this, he said, feeling suddenly very uncomfortable. This means we're sitting on a weapon that might destroy us as easily as it will destroy the enemy. It places constraints on how we fight. He went back to the holo chart and indicated various features of the installation with his forefinger. You're sure it can't escape into the environment? Uthan was staring at his face, not at the chart. It was as if she didn't recognize him. He snapped his fingers and pointed at the chart. Come on, Doctor. Pay attention.
That's the biohazard containment area. Impregnable for obvious reasons. I was thinking we might retreat in there for the time being.
I would prefer to keep you and the biomaterials separate, in fact. I'd prefer also to keep you separate from your staff. I dislike having all my eggs in one box. If the enemy ever breaches this facility, then they won't be able to destroy the project in one action. If they eliminate one part, we can still salvage the other components, be they personnel or materials.
These rooms aren't as secure in biohazard terms.
But they are relatively secure in terms of stopping someone from getting at them. The hazard materials can stay in the central biohazard chamber.
Yes,
she said.
I concede that.
Then get your people moving.
You think it'll come to that? To a battle?
No, not here. But if it does, this gives me the best chance of succeeding.
You're prepared to fight while sitting on a bomb effectively?
Yes, your bomb. And if we're both sitting on it, it'll motivate us to prevent its detonation, won't it?
I think you're a dangerous and foolhardy man.
And I think you're a woman who's lucky that she has relative immunity through her value to the separatist cause. Hogan straightened up. Maybe she wanted an apology. He saw no reason to give one. A scientist, expecting half the relevant facts to be acceptable in the solution of a problem. It was sloppy, unforgivably sloppy. I'll have a droid help you if you like.
We'll do it ourselves. I know how careful they are with fragile objects.
Hogan closed the holo chart and walked out into the corridor. Outside, a droid approached him.
Captain Haradi is bringing a prisoner and a visitor,
he said.
He says he disobeyed your orders on both.
Maybe promoting the man hadn't been such a good idea. But Haradi was smart. He'd taken them alive when he should have taken them dead, and that was significant. The young officer wasn't squeamish. Hogan decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. When the droids at the entrance parted to let him pass, Haradi was waiting, and he had two others with him. One was a Trandoshan mercenary. He carried his distinctive tool of the trade, an APC repeating blaster. The other was no stranger at all. It was Gutane, his former Weequay lieutenant. "I got information," the Weequay said, cowering. "You better have," Hogan said. With one pair of shoulders missing, Niner had some hard choices to make about what equipment they could take with them. He stared down at the various weapons and piles of ordnance laid out on the ground, astonished by what they had managed to carry as well as in consideration of what they couldn't take into battle.
We could always cache some stuff near the target,
Vice said.
2 trips, double the risk.
Adam picked up one of the LJ-50 concussion rifles. He had been most insistent on saving those.
Well, I'm taking this conch rifle and the APC array blaster. If I'm going into that facility, don't trust Republic procurement then?
Vice said.
No point in being a snob about gear.
Patton said.
Don't get stuck in any confined spaces.
It was a fair point, with the backpack. These, rifle attachments, and sections of cannon. There wasn't a lot of room left to load much else. Niner didn't want to say it aloud, but they were trying to do 2 squads' work. Something had to give.
Come on, you know I can carry equipment.
Attain said. She didn't look like she could even carry a tune. Battered, disheveled, and ashen, she seemed about to drop.
Ask Starman.
That right, Dar?
Niner said on the helmet link. Dharma glanced down from his observation point in the tree.
Like a bantha, Sarge. Load her up.
They could split the E-Web across 5 of them. That meant an extra piece and a decent supply of extra power cells and ordnance.
Okay, Plan A,
Niner said. He projected a holochart from his datapad.
The nearest suitable laying up point is just under 1 kilometer from the facility, and this copy's here. We tab down there, now, and deploy 2 surveillance remotes to give us a good view of both the facility and the villa. Depending on the situation, we can try to come back for the spare gear during the day. It's 2 clicks each way. Not a lot, but it's daylight, and if Gutane did the business, we'll have a lot of attention. I'm up for it.
Patton said.
We're going to need it.
Go on with Plan A.
Attain said.
As we agreed, get a remote loaded with ribbon charge into the villa, and do what damage we can, while Phi lays down fire at the rear of the facility. Darwin blows the main doors, and I go in with that. If we can't get the remote into the villa, then we have to tie the droids down with a split attack. Plan B.
That sounds almost impossible.
I never said we had good odds.
And are not that much use against droids.
You would be if you had one of these, Patton said, and offered her the Transdotion array blaster.
Lightsabers are all very well, but we don't want to get too intimate with the enemy, do we? It's got a good close-range spread, so you don't even have to be an expert marksman to use it.
He made a gesture with his hands.
Bang. Serious bang.
She took the weapon and examined it carefully, then shouldered it like a pro.
Never used one of these. I'll get the hang of it fast.
That's the spirit, ma'am.
You should also know that I can move things too, not just carry them.
Move?
With the Force.
Handy.
Vi said. Niner slapped a clip of plasma bolt rounds in Vi's hand to shut him up.
We might need you to keep Dr. Uthin cooperative too. Worst comes to worst, we've got sedation for her, but I'd really rather have her walking than as a dead weight.
Is there a Plan C?
The nice thing about the alphabet, ma'am, is that it gives you plenty of plans to choose from.
Vi said.
Shut up, Vi.
Niner said.
He has a point.
Attain said. She spun around to face the undergrowth.
Gennard?
The Gerlana slipped out of the bushes and wandered among the selection of weapons, a glossy black predator again, picking her way between the equipment with careful paws. She sniffed at it. "Show me what I need to carry," she said.
Can you manage 3 remotes?
Addon asked. "All bombs?"
No. 2 holocams, 1 bomb.
"Very well. You can explain to me what you want done with them when we reach your..."
Laying up point.
Niner prompted.
Lup.
"You enjoy not being understood, don't you?"
Part of our mystique and charm.
Vi said, and strapped more webbing onto his armor. They followed the line of woods, a route that took them a couple of kilometers out of their way, but offered the shortest distance over open terrain. Attain. Niner still struggled with the first name familiarity, even in his Muni kept close to Jarman. She seemed to like him. She was polite and sympathetic to the rest of them, but she certainly liked Darman. Niner could see it on her face. She exuded concern. He heard snatches of conversation.
How did you ever carry all the E-Web sections alone?
No idea. Just did, I suppose.
She was a Jedi. Scarada said they were fine people, but they didn't, and couldn't care about anyone. But you got close, very quickly under fire. He wasn't going to ask Darman what he was playing at. Not yet. They reached the edge of the woodland, and came into a 100-meter stretch of waist-high grass. Vi went forward as a point man. Sprinting and dropping was now beyond them, but there appeared to be nothing around to spot their gray armor anyway. So they walked out a crouch. Niner's back was screaming for a rest. It didn't matter how fit you were. When you push yourself this hard, it hurt. When they reached the copies, it was painkiller time. Niner stripped off his arm plate and peeled back a section of suit. He didn't bother finding a vein. He stabbed the needle into muscle.
Know the feeling, Darman said.
He dropped his pack and sat down, legs outstretched.
Anyone taken any stems so far? Not yet.
Niner said.
I reckon we should all dose up 1 hour before moving, just to make sure we're 100%.
He glanced at Attain, wondering how she might appear after a week of normal meals, unbroken sleep, and clean clothing. She looked worryingly frail now, even though she was doing a valiant job of keeping up.
You too, especially you. Can Jedi take stimulants?
What exactly do they do?
The equivalent of 10 hours, good solid sleep, and 4 square meals until they wear off.
I ought to draw on the Force to sustain my stamina,
She said.
but the Force could do with a bit of help right now. Count me in.
She sat down and rested her head on her folded arms. Maybe she was meditating. Niner switched to helmet comms.
Dar, she's not going to collapse on us, is she? We can't carry anything else. If she drops, it'll be because she's dead. He said, trust me, she's tougher than she looks. Physically, anyway. She better be. Let's get those remotes deployed.
Schnar had identified a couple of high points to place the cam remotes. One was on the gutter of a farm building, overlooking the entrance to the facility. The other was a tree whose canopy gave a good 270-degree view of the villa. The third remote, the one loaded with ribbon charge, needed more careful placement. She sat up on her hind legs, and a pouch formed on her stomach, like a cook's apron. "Normally, I would carry my young around in this," she said. She placed the 3 spheres in the pouch, giving the impression that she swallowed some particularly lumpy prey. "But if I don't help you, my chance of raising another litter are remote, so I consider it an appropriate act." Niner was fascinated as ever by the Gerlanin. The more he saw of the creature, the less he knew about them. He hoped he might have the chance to find out more one day. In an hour, it would be midday. Atten took out his ration pack and mess tin. A flat sheet that snapped into shape. He placed his remaining ration cubes in it and held it out. "How much have we got among us?" "I'm down to half a day's worth," Vi said. "Me too," Niner said. Darman reached into his pack and pulled out a carefully wrapped brick-sized bag. "A day's worth of cubes, and this dry kuvara and jerky. Let's pull this and have 2 meals before we go in. If we pull this off, we'll be running too fast to have lunch. If we don't, it'd be a shame to die hungry." "Gets my vote," Atten said. Nunner was going to ask Attain, but she was sitting cross-legged with her eyes shut and her hands in her lap. Darman put a finger to his lips and shook his head.
Meditating.
He mouthed silently. Nunner hoped she emerged from it transformed. He was still one squad short for an adequate force for this job.
You have 10 seconds to live,
Guess Hokin said. He took out Foyer's lightsaber, and the blue shaft of energy buzzed into life. He wondered what made the blade a constant, finite length each time.
Speak.
Gutine, looking more bemused than he recalled, ignored the lightsaber.
I've been captured by the soldiers. I get away. Republic troops. Human? Yes, they catch me. They make me carry stuff.
Hokin sheathed the blade.
They obviously spotted your talents. How did you get away? They were sleeping. They not care I go. How many soldiers? 4 and Gurley. Gurley?
Gutine pointed at the lightsaber.
She got one like that.
So the woman with them was a Jedi.
Just 4? They got another lot.
He pursed his lips, grappling with the new word.
Squad. Very well. So we have 2 squads, 8 men. That would fit.
Hokin turned to Haradi.
And our Trandoshan friend? He says he's highly irritated about his business being interrupted, sir. And he offers himself and 3 colleagues to help you deal with the inconvenience. Thank him and accept his offer.
Hokin turned back to Gutine.
I want you to think very hard. Did they say what they were going to do? Where they were going? The villa.
How predictable people were. The locals would tell you anything for money, sell you their daughters, inform on their neighbors. Hokin had half expected the ruse to be almost too obvious.
You're doing well. Tell me what equipment they have. Blasters, explosives.
The Weequay made an indication of great wit with his hand.
Big gun. They got armor with knives and gloves. Describe. Like yours. What do you mean, like mine?
Gutine indicated his head and made a T shape with his fingers.
Your helmet.
It was difficult to take in. Gutine was no inarticulate brute, but there was no ambiguity in his description.
Are you saying they were wearing Mandalorian armor? Yeah, that it. You're sure about that? Sure. Anything else?
Hokin wondered how he expected this creature to be able to assess intelligence.
Anything else unusual?
Gutine concentrated on the question, as if his life depended on it, which it did not. Hokin would kill him anyway.
They all look the same. They were wearing uniforms? No, the men. Same faces.
Children could be unerringly accurate in their observation of detail, and so could stupid adults. Gutine was describing something that Dr. Uthan had told him about soldiers, identical soldiers, mindlessly obedient soldiers, clone soldiers. Hokin couldn't believe that clone troopers could operate like this, and the one weapon that would work against them was denied him, because in its present state it would kill everyone, Uthan and her team included. But there were probably only 8 of them. He had nearly 100 droids. He had weapons.
Haradi! Haradi!
The young captain came running and saluted.
Sir! I think we face a 2-pronged attack. There are 2 squads, and I find it unlikely to imagine that they would not have one squad attack the villa while the other made an attempt on the most obvious target. Divide the droid platoons between the locations. That's what you would do with 2 squads, sir? Not concentrate your forces? Yes. If I weren't sure my objectives were consolidated in one place. They can't know who and what is in which building, and they'll attack at night, because while they're bold, they're not stupid.
He shook his head suddenly, interrupted by his own preoccupation.
Who would have thought clones could carry out this sort of operation? Uthan said they were no more than cannon fodder.
Commanded by Jedi, sir. Perhaps our tactician is the woman. It was an interesting idea. Hokin considered it for a moment, then realized that Gutane was waiting expectantly, oddly upright and apparently unafraid.
Well,
Hoken said, I tell you stuff, you let me live? Hoken activated the lightsaber again and held it out to his side, just above the level of his right shoulder.
Of course not,
He said, and swung the blade.
It would be bad for morale.